They'll be calling you a radical. Such epic times, such incredible epic times right now. It's unbelievable, really. So get this. This is a salmon update. Salmon on Oregon. There's still only 2 fish in the Willamette. As they say in the movies, getting awful late. I want to talk about the scumbag Army Corps engineers and these criminal bastards that they are. These criminal scum. These Masonic rats called the Army Corps. Now, you don't think I could change things, one guy activist? So now, I caused such a stink with the Oregon fish count numbers. There's a private contractor through the Army Corps engineers. They take 3-day weekends every weekend. They can't report on It's Good Friday. They can't report on any 3-day weekend on the salmon number. We have to wait till Monday. But the Oregon number says we do have our own counting system on the Willamette. So they've been posting them. Not the Army Corps engineers, but they can do this on Friday. On Good Friday, they can do this. They can't work on Friday. Can't give us these so hallowed important numbers right here. The whole world's watching. The Oregon economy is ready to incredibly collapse. Washington incredibly collapse. Alaska, I mean, I'm telling you, you don't understand the implications. This pseudo de facto industry, like the fake dairy poison that's rose up, the Mitchell Act on Balco. So they announced that the killing of the cormorants program to go on for the 3rd consecutive year. 3rd year in a row. They can announce that. That's their answer. That's their answer. 99% collapse in the stillhead, 99% collapse on the salmon. Yeah, it's the cormorants. Yeah, it's the fur bags, those sea lions. You know, I was just arguing with a guy at the fish market now, you know, and they know. And he's like, well, you know, it's these people walking over the tide pools in California. I grew up there. I says, no, it's not. There's lots of tide pools right now that you can't even get near them. They've been restricted for years. I could show you places that humans aren't even allowed in. If you go in, they had to put a beeper on you. I can show them. Those tide pools are dead. There hasn't been a person even near them in years. Dead. It's the greatest ecological catastrophe in human history. I mean, so, you know, the dirty bomb they dropped, it's being reported, maybe it was happened on March 14th or Good Friday. It doesn't matter. It was reported on April 14th. I mean, that's when the world found out. You know, on Good Friday, and the protests at Livermore, which I protested for years at Livermore. You know, on Good Friday we do it, you know. Heather and I protested on Thanksgiving. It's the most eerie, creepy place in the world, these scumbag weapon designers, whatever. So 28 get arrested out there like they always do. They're fantastic. Just take a look at the video. They're all 90 years old. That's the problem. You know, the great generation that we were, whatever, you know, all the great actors are dying and dead. I wish some of them were alive to see what our accomplishment at San Onofre. We need you young people to join with us. I mean, hello. You know, you'll get caught up in everything. You'll protest everything known to man, but the #1 thing in the world, the Great Pacific Genocide, the death of the Pacific Ocean. If you don't think this is the smoking gun that it's Fukushima, you cannot argue with me. You cannot argue. It's unarguable. Fukushima happens. They dump in for 2,200 and some odd days. Salmon go to sea for 5 years. It's how to return. The epic collapse. Record numbers off the cliff. Tide pool's all dead. Didn't that alarm you 2 years ago when all the mures washed up, starving? Oh, you're testing. You're testing? You know, it's like the surfers come out now. You know, the surfers, some of them, Fukushima's not too bad. Yeah. Oh, really? What, you're testing for there is no test. That's the problem. There is no test for this. These old freaking... You can't test. They don't even know what it is. It's a gas called plutonium. It killed the freaking luminescence. Big fish eat little fish. I mean, you've watched it right in full in front of your face, the collapse. So these scumbag pieces of shit called the Army Corps engineers, they won't post the salmon numbers. You know, I ran algorithm. I ran whole columns of matrix. I ran multiple, hundreds of thousands of cycles in regression. They're running right now at 6%. You know, high water, no. You go all the way back. This is a catastrophe. You think they're emergency closing just because they want to? That's the last resort. And NOAA, her name's Kathleen Sullivan, she needs to be arrested. The Endangered Species Act should have kicked in a year ago. Copper River's closed. I mean, this whole thing, you know, you still go fishing? Whoa, happy Easter, Trump says to you. Huh? You know, what about the Moab bomb? What about that on Holy Week? Huh? That taboo bomb. Why? What are they flexing their dick like Hiroshima, Nagasaki? Just keep going on with this madness. You just keep throwing more money to your own killers. You know, the Mitchell Act scumbags. Fishers who can't fish, skiers who can't ski, surfers who can't say, I'm a butcher, what's a cow? I'm a baker, what's a cake? I'm a fisherman, what's a boat? I'm an environmentalist, what's Fukushima? I always support your causes. I always support everybody else's causes on their bullshit, fairy tale, pseudo de facto bullshit. It's your sociology, your pseudo de facto sociology. It's your pseudo facto theology. I'm a Christian, I'm a Christian, I'm a Christian. You know what? Usury, wearing usury, slave-made gauds at gunpoint in those cases. I mean, everything the opposite of Jesus. Happy Easter. Everything the opposite. Jesus had blonde hair, blue eyes. Jesus built malls. Jesus had slave camps. Operation Foxconn. Freaking in East Turkey at his own people. Childhood slaves buying his gear. Go to Walmart, freaking buy your own gear. Jesus had an AK-47. Hate thy neighbor. Jesus built towers to Babylon at Savannah River. Huh. Up is down. Well, he must have, because you say you're Christ-like. All you fake Christians can all rot in hell, because that's what you all are. It's not who I say. It's what my neighbors think I am. You know, you go to church, you act like it, because it's not about your actions. Yes, it is. You know, all this, you're wearing your usury goods, you're slaughtering the environment, you're killing thy neighbor, the hate, the freaking whole thing is everything. You know, let them die. You know, that's the opposite. So you tell, you know, use that one in the hereafter. Use that one in your fairy tale. You weaklings, it's disgusting. The new gold. Yeah, get your gold from the Queen's freaking hole. Silver, you should have been hoarding freaking wild-caught salmon. So the scumbag Army Corps engineers, we're still it. Now think about this. The Willamette 2. It takes two to tango, Bobby. Are they a hen and a buck, 2 hands, or 2 bucks? I don't know. I called the Oregon governor, left her a message. I hear she's the expert. Can they still lay the... Oh, we'll just get farm rate. No, you won't. They go through this incredible transformation right before they freaking lay the egg. The Frasers come right out. Unheard of. The hens are dying with the eggs still in. You know, they go through this... It's this incredible life cycle. We take that. No one seems to care. No one seems to care. But the scumbag Army Corps engineers, they can't work on Fridays. They can't report these numbers, you know, and I expose the contract flaw. I expose this whole thing. Boy, did I get an earful. Look at the disclosure on the 7-day Oregon fish count now. That's my doing right there. One guy. You know, thank you in San Diego, you're at least fairy tale trying, but you're I mean, come on. I mean, so behind the curve trying to raise money, whatever. USS Reagan, still no word. So... But they can, you know, kill the cormorants. That's the answer. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's really worked well the last couple of years. It's really worked nice for you. You know, them fur bags, those freaking sills, and those things that are full of cancer. They've got leukemia. It's been well documented. Full of leukemia. Only one cause of leukemia. But no, the Pacific Ocean, we're testing. Yeah. Okay. Pacific Ocean is well over 90% dead right now. I mean, all the mures washed up dead. I reported it. The tide pools are all freaking empty and dead, at least in California. British Columbia have been well documented. All the mures, what's a mure? All washed up dead. Now the epic salmon collapse, which started last year. Salmon go to sea for 5 years. You can't argue because we don't count dead whales. We don't count dead mures. We don't count dead seals. We don't count dead cormorants. We don't count dead humans spiking from cancer. We don't count any of that. Oh, we count salmon. First they come for the buffalo. I won't stop. They cut down the sequoias, these evil. Kill the Shasta. Man, woman, and child, natives. $25 on a human being, native, boy, girl. $50 for a woman, 100, you know, kill them. Astoria, Astor, poison their food. You know, won't stop there. Now we come for the mother of all life. Yeah, we're counting. We count salmon. Why? Because you have value. Come fishing. You know, where's the Endangered Species Act? They just ignore laws. This Trump administration, he's a mad sickle. Obama, what a scumbag. You know, all of them. But this is it. You know, the Great Pacific Genocide. Yeah, Livermore freaking scientists making $1-2 million a year do nothing. These are sick, demented, sociopathic. And if you don't believe me, think about this. The restart up of the weapons division plant, the Mox fuel plant, the Nightmare, the only one they restarted, which they've taken that back down. In Japan, they restarted on the 70th anniversary of Hiroshima. Nagasaki, that's a fact, Jack. You know, the Moab bomb on this week, whether they got reported or the these are sickos, wackos, and the Trump budget, he slashes everything but just floods them no money. And I understand slashing, I understand slashing, they don't do anything anyway. What does it matter if you get 10 million? These are derelicts. They all need to be arrested. Gina McCarthy, Lisa Jackson, you know, Kathleen Sullivan, Scotty Pruitt, freaking all of them, Trump, Obama, freaking, you know, they all need to go to jail, these derelict scumbags. The marine biologists, they're mystified, they're puzzled, they're stumps. Huh. Okay, every one of them needs to be locked up. The greatest freaking catastrophe in human history. The greatest environmental catastrophe in human history. The greatest catastrophe, the Great Pacific Genocide. And no one cared. Is it even possible? Stand tuned.